Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me today. We're about to take a hike that I've been wanting to take for a long time. So let's take this hike and figure out how the Romans and the painting Whistler's Mother are connected to the Great Western Railroad. Our story actually does not begin in Rome. It actually begins in New York in 1825 with the completion of the Erie Canal. Upon the completion of the canal, Boston, and thus the rest of the Commonwealth, was cut out of the trade routes from the north. A new trade route to Albany needed to be devised. A canal was not feasible through the Berkshires, and stagecoach took 8 days with limited cargo, so it was also not an option. It was decided that a railroad would need to be built and would have to run through the foothills and mountains of the Berkshires. Given the many challenges that the engineers of this railroad would face, it would become a railroad of many firsts. Speaking of first, the first thing you notice about this trail is about how wet it is and how much fungus is around. It would become the first railroad to traverse forested and mountainous regions. It would also be the first large American engineering project to use immigrant labor, such as the Italians, the Irish, and the Russians. While being a project of many firsts, when it came to the engineering aspect of the bridges, they relied on proven Roman Keystone architecture. As we can see here with this beautiful double arch span. If you look closely at the keystone alignment on these double arches, you can see that there's actually 5 and not the traditional 1 keystone. The arch is comprised of Chester blue granite, which was quarried here locally. This is the only double arch span of the 10 arch run that was originally created. You can see here how the stones are stacked on top of each other with no mortar in between. That's how the arch was originally assembled. The water is clear and reflective. It creates a soothing and rhythmic sound as it tumbles into the pools below the arch. It's mesmerizing. Let's go see what else we can find. What do we have here? This is not what we're looking for. This bridge is very interesting. It may look like it's metal or some sort of steel, or it's actually recycled plastic. Okay, this place is called the Cut. This is not where they quarried the stones for the original arches. This is where they cut and leveled for the original train line. Here you can see more evidence of the original train line, how flat and straight it is. And look what we have here. Hope you're not afraid of heights. Now let's see if we can find a way down. Bingo. It's almost 10 degrees cooler down here, and there's absolutely no cell phone signal, and I appear to be sharing the beach with a large raccoon and a bobcat. Let's see if we can get a closer look at that arch. I believe this arch is 65 feet tall. So we've already talked about how the Romans are involved with this. So how is the painting Whistler's Mother involved? But before I tell you that, if you enjoyed the video to this point, go ahead and give me a subscribe. I'll just sit here and give you a moment to do so. So the man who was commissioned by the Western Railroad Corporation to design and oversee the construction of these stone arch bridges was George Washington. No, not that one. It was this one, George Washington Whistler. The woman in the painting was his wife, Anna Whistler, and it was painted by their son, William McNeill Whistler. As I was setting up for the final shot, and suddenly what I thought was distant thunder was actually the rumble of a train. This is a sound that you not only hear, but you absolutely feel. The ground beneath me is vibrating. I can feel it transferring the stone directly into my bones. There wasn't enough time for me to get the gear and scramble up the 65 vertical feet to set up. As the Grateful Dead once said, she's more of a roller coaster than a train I used to know. This is a hike that I'll never forget. Each step brought me closer to these incredible structures, yet also deeper into a sense of connection with the natural world around me. The presence of these arches in nature speaks to the duality of man. They represent our ability to shape the environment, to impose order and purpose upon the wild, yet they are also a reminder that it can be done in a thoughtful way that can coexist within the natural world.